next one?
One to a million. There's so many different reasons why I like you. Let's keep this going. We can change it up if we want to. Keep me guessing, keep me guessing. Keep me guessing, keep me guessing. It's like ooh la la, ooh la la. It's not hard to say how I feel. It's like ooh la la, ooh la la. It's kinda easy now 'cause it's real. Hey.
Well, good evening, everybody. How are you tonight? It's good to have you here. Boy, it seems like I'm close up tonight. Oh, well, that's the way it is. That's the way it is. It's not even on that. Huh. Ha ha ha. How is everybody? I hope you're doing well. It's a beautiful sunny day here in the Pacific Northwest. We are on our third day of in the 90s. And it is glorious. It's not too bad up in Studio G. And it was nice. And I did some painting and some other stuff. And Bob came and sat out there. And yeah, and then we had to come in because it's cooler down here in this area because this is kind of a daylight, sort of a daylight basement. I mean, it goes out to level ground down here, but the house is built into a hill, and so the upstairs, but the upstairs gets really warm, can get really warm because we're all windows that face the water. So close those shades down, close them all up, and close the house down up there. It keeps it kind of cool for the evening, but it's still nice. Thank you, Linda. Thanks for always just a cheer to have her say. We're getting some cooler air from Canada, so temps will be better just for a week. Good thing before they tear the cooler weather. Yeah, wouldn't that be a trip? Um, I wonder what that would cause the stock market to do. Oh well. Um, we're here for story and art and some fun times. Hi, Fatima. I see you are here. And you spent all day bonding with the animals at the zoo. The Australia experience let me roam through open kangaroos while in my chair. It was amazing. Heath takes a hit. Health takes a hit now, but it was worth it. Getting ready for dinner. There's Fatima. And Tamra is here. I just got back from doing a top up shop. There's a big storm on its way, so a really strong wind. Okay. All right. Yeah, you're in the midst of winter, and your older sister is not. Well, I'm sorry about that. 80 years old. That's how old my sister is. Patty. She will be 80. She's just 10 years older than me. So it's a year from now. So it's next June she'll be 80. So, yeah. Hi there, everybody's so good to have Susan's here. Hi, Susan. Nice to do that. Nice to have you here. Just Lupe's here. It's hot out here. Yeah, I bet you're warm down there. Yeah, it's of course, we here on Western Washington side when it hits 90, it's pretty unusual. It's in the 90s for a few days. We'll hit it. Eastern Washington, that's not so unusual. I can imagine what it's going to be like this coming weekend over there when I'm there for the studio tour. But we'll see how that goes because it'll always be much warmer. But yeah, hi Aldo. Aldo just wandered in. And so get your buckets, people. Yep. Everybody's here. So I think you're going to be in for a treat. I read tonight one of tonight's stories to my video creator club, Mary Lou's group, and I don't usually read it, but I told them because it was a story that kind of fit with some things, and it just was really amazing. It's amazing. But tonight, before we get into that, we have show and tell. New show and tell thing. So we had those new show and tell things because I'll tell you about that. I did something. So this is Tamra's. And Tamara, I kind of switched it around just a little bit because the other piece was just so stunning. I want and I don't know if Carlos will make it in. I hope he does. If he does make it in later, I'll come back and show him again. She says, I've not been creating much, but I did this piece today for our Sunday for tomorrow. The paper is old from 2000. I took macro photos of the cliff rocks at our local beach. I painted around 12 sheets and used most of them for projects in visual arts school in 2000. This is the last sheet left. And then she found two the pieces from 2000. So these are from the older pieces that she had. This is not the piece that she's talking about that she did from the last sheet. She found these two, and number one on canvas from 2002, black on black card paper. So these were really cool. But then she did another one, and that's the next one coming up that she said she did the title of Sacredness, the Sacredness of Life. I created this piece after watching Carlos this morning. It's about the inner child. Yeah, I watched Carlos's piece, Boca Bushido, for those of you who don't know who Carlos is. He comes here. And he's a friend of mine with Ecamm, and he's come into the Bucket Fillers a few times. He has an amazing channel. He's a photographer, but he's also just studies the art of Bushido. His wife is a tea master. She does the tea ceremonies. She's he is a psychologist, I believe, also, and or psychiatrist, one of the two, whichever. I can never always get straight on those, but oh well, neither here nor there. Tomato, tomato. But this this next piece that she did, let's see, this one is called, what did she call it? Let me get my text back. The Sacredness of All Life. I created this piece after watching Carlos about the inner child. This is just glorious. Absolutely glorious, Tamara. I really, really like this one. It's just got so much to it, and each time you look at it, you see a little more. And sometimes if you look at it a little bigger or from a different angle, it's just, the branch down here from the tree, the almost wing-like aspect to this part, but it's like a tree, but it's also almost like a bird sitting on a tree. And then it just has so much to it. It just has so much to it. It's just really, 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 yeah, her eyes are so lifelike. Magnetic draws you in. Yeah. Yeah, it is. I thought it was glorious too, Susan. That's kind of what it was like, oh, glory, glory. That is just amazing. Just the beauty of black and white, the beauty of just that simple black and white and what you do with it. And both pieces are, here, let me pull the other one, get rid of the text. And maybe I have a little more room to move one to the other side to the other. Yeah, there we go. And so you can kind of see both of them up there together. As she did. So from 2000, from some paper that she'd painted back in visual arts school in 2000, she did 12 pieces. And this was from the one she did after watching Carlos's show, was from the last piece of paper of that, 12 pieces. That shows restraint. Again, another cheers and applause. Okay, you guys, next, not so fancy or anything. I've been doodling, and this was what my keyboard is here. My glasses, all kinds of stuff you get right here. My hand lotion. I didn't clean up for you guys. That's, you can tell. That's when you're good friends, when you don't clean up the house when they come over. So I didn't necessarily clean up the desk. So I started fiddling around with watercolor. And I started just doing some I was watching Diane Anton do some things, and I did this kind of loose goose, just playing around, and I was watching somebody else, and it was a way she was making edges around the with watercolor, and I started to try to do that, but I didn't find a whole lot of interest in doing it. I was kind of having fun, but I was playing around and just kind of did this, and I did the base. And then today I took it out to the studio, and all the background area, I got out some chalk, water soluble chalk pastels, some Charvis pastels, and I did the background. So that's all kind of that, and the green and the blue background there. Some of it I went over it. And that I kinda did, and then I still didn't like some of it, so then I decided I'd grab the, I have some water-soluble oils, which kinda freak. So that's what the red is, and I put that in, poked it in, and I did some layering. Yeah, see, it's still wet. Oils here, and I went over, and the water-soluble oils are kinda cool because you can get them pretty thin and get kinda transparent, so the even though I went over it with a blue, it's not I made that one part really thin, but other parts are thicker, and I just started playing with it. So this was my doodle thing of I kinda finished it up today, and I did a bunch of tiny paintings. And the other thing I did yesterday, I was in class with Doc and my friends from ECAM, and I was you can't just sit. I can't just sit for, while everybody's talking. And I started doodling, and I'd watched this video on drawing figures on this guy that had on drawing figures, and it was really interesting. So then I had leftover paint because I was using for this, I was using my Art Nouveau set from Kiritaki. So I had some leftover paint and stuff. So I started doing these stupid figures and then just practicing them. And then it kept kind of getting, and then I started doing these kind of things after I had done this one, and I think maybe I was doing this and then went on to this. Probably that's how it happened, because I was just goofing around. So that's been my whole thing this week because Bob was gone, and yeah, yeah, he gone this week? Was it this week that he was gone? Yes, I think it was this week he was gone. Yes, and so I didn't do a whole lot of other stuff, but that's what I've done. That's my thing. I don't know what. This was just kind of fun, trying mixed media a little different way. I want to try some more with this oils, but I have to watch some more things on how it's done because it's not. I just have a few colors, and it was just one of those things to play with. And I keep sticking my finger in it. I'm used to watercolor being dry, and that's kind of the way it goes. Yeah. So I just can't make that isn't. Watercolors are I find them really I love them. I find them really relaxing. I find them really kind of going loose. I don't try to go that's why I like to watch Diane Anton because she's really a proponent of being loose and not trying to make things perfect and not doing it following the rules and all of this kind of thing. Um, Other people, can be really kind of oh, you have to do this. And I took a watercolor class from somebody that was kind of like that. And it was like, ah. So this was one of those things. And one of the things that I do have problems with was figure drawing. And so I found this YouTube on sketching. What was it? Where did it go? It was, if I can find what I did, it was called, and I'll put it in. Where's my history? So it's got, there it is. Nope, that's Daily Doodle. Nope. Let me look. He went kind of fast. He went kind of fast, which kind of threw me off. But there it is. Crazy figure drawing tricks that will blow your mind in watercolor. This was it. Share, copy that, and see if I can put it in here. V. There you go. That's the YouTube that I watched. And it's called, literally, it's called Crazy Figure Drawing Tricks That Will Blow Your Mind. It's by Niaz Hannon, Niaz Hannon Watercolors. Niazhannan, I think, watercolors. I think that's the channel name. But he went really fast, and I need to watch it again and again. But he had some really good things about it was just about three little rectangles and what you did with them and how you shifted the angle of them and how you thought about them and then what you did, and it made it really simple. And I'm just was totally amazed at how much you can get the gestures and a figure to look like a gesture with just 2 or 3 little strokes or 3 or 4 little strokes. And it was like, oh, okay. So, and then that kind of took me off into my thing I did like this. Yeah, we're his character. Oh yes, Robert Burridge. That's another one. That I couldn't think. Thank you, Susan. I couldn't remember the other person that I'd watched that was so good that had the carrot people. Yes, and there's a couple of them that I've seen, and it's just like, oh my gosh. And it really gets me past that thing of having to be perfect and having to do it just right. And when I was talking about this with my group of we were talking about that. People were like, "Well, I don't have this, and I need to be there." And trying to get past this perfectionism was a big thing. And so this this book that I'm going to share tonight, that is the main book I want to tell you about, is the one I shared with them, and it speaks so much to that in a way that you know. Trying to please others is ridiculous, and trying to please ourselves is also kind of we have too much of a tendency to self-talk ourselves down. And so it's this book that I'm going to read tonight is called Heart Leads the Way. And it I hope you guys get as much out of it. It's by Scott Stuart. He did the illustrations and he wrote the book, and it's a pretty simple, wonderful book like so many of them are. But this one is a conversation between someone's heart and the brain in the same person. So let's get to this one. There it is. Let me get my program. Oh, I gotta get my Ecamm Live camera, my thing out of the way. Hang on. I have my windows on the wrong spot. Come on, baby. So so let me tell you what I did. My hard drive was getting full, and because I do so many videos, I had a tendency, I forget to put it to an external hard drive. And so I got this warning that things were getting full. So I went to look where they were, where the storage was, where it was. And I thought, oh, I have all of those saved on this, or I have them there, or they're YouTube. I don't need to keep that. And one of the spots that I keep things an awful lot of times is in my downloads. Because all those little videos I start each time with, or things I'll download, and I'll just leave them in downloads. Well, I had hundreds of stuff. I mean, hundreds. So I just emptied download and I dumped it. So today, when I pulled up the show to do the show tonight. That's why we have a new show and tell scene, because the video attached to that part that Ecamm reaches into my wherever and points to and grabs that video and says, "Oh, we can play it." It kept saying video not found, video not the ready set go was gone, all kinds of stuff. So I was like, ah. So I was scrambling and getting it. So it's one of those things. It's like, okay, you did that, but you cleared a bunch of stuff up. But like, oh well, now it means I just have to start with some new things, which is okay. Which is okay. So I thank you for being patient with me if things kind of go a little awkward here and there, because holy Ned, I sometimes have them in the wrong spot. And I'm like going, what? Oh no, where is it? And then it isn't there. And I had to re-download everything. And so anyway, but that's what we're doing here. But my art is like a memoir through creativity of my inner self. I love that. You have to be quiet to get your creativity. I was so surprised at him saying that. Wow. Thank you for those links. This group gives me courage to stretch. Oh, yay. Oh my gosh. That makes me feel so good, because if we can stretch, if we can do this, if we can let our heart take the lead, then it's going to be pretty amazing. Even more so than you guys already are. So this is called Heart Takes the Lead. Let me move that up there. And are you ready for a wonderful story? Heart Takes the Lead by Scott Stuart. This is Heart. Heart loves chocolate and hide and seek and playgrounds and fashion and butterflies and roller coasters. Brain does not. Brain likes lists and broccoli and safety rails and never doing anything that people might laugh at. But more than anything, Brain loves to be in control, because Brain knows for absolute certain that it is always right. Who's the boss? This guy. This way to the boss. Brain is always right. Ooh, yes, this one, this one. No. Stop, we need to dance. No. Our puppies, I have to play with them. No. And each time Brain doesn't listen to Heart. No, too wet. No, too buzzy. No, too loud. No, too messy. Yes, the dentist is good. Definitely not. Heart gets a little quieter. Then one day, Heart saw something it had never seen before. Something extraordinary. And for the very first time, Heart didn't listen to Brain. Stop! No! Imagine me playing the trumpet. I would be amazing. I think it's my destiny. I'll play at concerts and in the park and for dogs and for cats and sometimes for hippos. And I'll play everywhere I go. No. And I'll be making music and life will be incredible. And I'll become a professional musician and I'll have my name up in lights and I'll get to perform in front of enormous crowds all over the world. No. I said no. We won't be good enough. People will laugh at us. Bad things will happen. And because Brain is always right, Heart stopped talking. Every day they would pass the music studio and listen to the sounds of people learning to play. And every night they would go home to silence. And one night, when the silence was quieter than it had ever been before, Hart finally broke. It was suddenly much easier for Brain to make all the right decisions every single time. No more shiny clothes, no more dancing, and definitely no more puppies. Life was less difficult. But very quickly, life became less everything. And so one day, instead of passing the music studio, Brain stopped. We might be laughed at. I know. We'll probably be terrible. I know. And we may never, ever be very good. I know. Then Brain said the most right thing it had ever said. I'm scared. I know. But let's give it a try anyway. Now, music filled their home, and nothing that Brain had worried about actually happened. Well, that's not quite true. They were pretty terrible, but they were getting better. And every time they played, Hart was put back together. Just a little bit more. Now Brain listens to Hart. Because it turns out Hart is sometimes right too. Are you sure this much ice cream is okay? Of course. But not always. And that is Hart Leads the Way. It had one last look at all the music notes on the end paper on this time. So fun. Ugh. So what'd you guys think? To me, hi Shauna, how are you? Yay. I know Lala's been going crazy. She's been doing CETA, Create Every Day in August. I know. Isn't this book something else? It is. I the people that I read it to in my video creator club with Mary Lou on Friday are not people that Mary Lou's come here, Mary Lou Mandel, once or twice. I don't think Caleb's come, maybe, but they're not. Uh, we do a bunch of other stuff in creativity and stuff like that, but they're not the storytellers. I'm doing the artist way with those guys, and they had not heard me read any stories, and they were like, this is what you do. This is the stories that you have. And I'm like, yeah, this is what, yeah, I know the truth for sure. It's such a great book. Carlos would love this book. He really would. I have sent him, I'm going to send him a link to it. And I thought it would really be good for him. So anyway, that was Hart Leads the Way by Scott Stuart. And the next book I have is one of the things that also comes along with this fear of One of the reasons I shared that book about Heart Leads the Way is that so many people have so much to share, like their art or on videos or stuff, but they don't want to go out and they're afraid to go live or they're afraid to make a video because it's not perfect. Well, things don't have to be perfect, and nobody cares if things are perfect, and the art is better. I mean, it's 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 not that big a deal. You really the billions of people that are out there on YouTube and the fine small group that sees it, oh well. And if you get I don't even worry about I look at you guys' comments very rarely. I mean, with Paul's blocked word list, which is amazing to put in my channel, that keeps 99% of the trolls away and the bad things. But comments, I always have to look at them. I have some friends that say, I finally made it on YouTube. I got a bad comment. I'm successful. But it's I don't look at the comments as being about me. I look at the comments if I get something that's negative, which fortunately I don't. It's not about that. And the art, I got one about one of the things that the videos that I did on a review on or I was showing how this thing worked one time on my other channel, and this guy said this was totally worth a waste of my time, and I said, "Yeah, I'm sorry about that." I said this was it, chugging my way through this thing, and I'm sorry that it didn't fill your needs. But here is another. I gave him a link. I said, "Here's somebody who really has a lot more information on it, and so maybe you can go find it on that one." And so that they were kind of shocked that I lent them someplace else, and that was it. So it's I think if we can get over our own fear of I should talk a recrimination against ourselves, we're our own worst critic. We really are. And if it wasn't for you guys, I would probably dig a hole for myself half the time and not do any of this stuff. But I've committed here to showing art and trying to do things and trying to do different things. And I'm asking you guys to show up and show your art off for show and tell. So I can't very well hide in a hole and not show my doodles. So, yeah, that's the way it is. And you guys are the best. Uh, yeah. Perfect is overrated. Definitely overrated. So, so the next book though is one of kind of a partner book to this. One of the things that comes along with that perfection thing is people get anxious and anxiety and all this. So this book is called The Worry Monster, and it's called Calming Anxiety with Mindfulness, and it is by Dr. Catherine Cook Catone and illustrated by Lena Podesta. And I always love it when I find books for kids or that are about mindfulness, but also I like them for myself because, quite frankly, I oftentimes don't have the patience to read nonfiction research books about mindfulness and that kind of stuff that I should be reading. I just don't. My mind wanders off, or I'll listen to it and I'm like, yeah, 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 yeah. And then I like the children's stories. Get to the point, get to the real essence. Like, seriously, the story needs to be told in 32 pages. Get to the point in the books. And that's what I wanted this. If I want more, I'll go find it in whatever. But this is kind of what I am. And okay. Yes. Woo, 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 woo. Yay. Look at that. I'm gonna put Lupe's comment on screen. So it's gonna be there in the video for sure. Okay, let's go for the next story. It is The Worry Monster. Calming Anxiety with Mindfulness. This has an intro. It says, "Dear caregivers, I'm excited to share The Worry Monster with you. It is normal for children of all ages, and we are children, remember. Generally, we want children to listen to their worries, especially those that help them remain safe, keep other people safe, plan, and make good choices. To some, worrying is good. Unfortunately, many children have difficulty managing the worries, and this can get in the way of their fully enjoying the here and now. And so it goes on to talk about what among children who are 3 to 7 years old, about 1 to 4% struggle with clinical levels of anxiety. And if you observe, it talks about if you observe any of these things, but that anxiety, they can cause appetite change, sleep disturbance, refusal to separate from caregivers, withdrawal and avoidance. Oh my goodness. So this whole thing, and I just love to read it. It says the worry monster in this story uses practices known to help reduce anxiety, such as telling others about your anxiety, asking for help, breathing exercise, focusing on sensations and music, riding the wave of anxiety, and acknowledging realistic and valid worries. Now, if you said that stuff to kids, they wouldn't get it. But in a book like this, The Worry Monster can give them some tips. And I figure maybe it'll give us some too. I am a monster, a worry monster. That means I have a lot of worries. When my worries are under control, I look like this. Cute, right? Huh? These kinds of worries help me stay safe, care for others, and be my best self. But when my worries spiral, my heart races, my claws burst out, my fangs pop, and my brain makes up the biggest and scariest possible worries, I go full monster. It's a problem. For example, tomorrow my class is going on a field trip and my worries are spiraling. What if I miss the bus? What if I get lost? Whoa. What if I need my pet dragon? What about you? What are you worried about today? To help, my teacher shows me 7 mindful monster moves that can calm me down. Teacher says that sometimes I'll only need to do 1, and sometimes I'll need all 7. Could we try these out, these new mindful monster moves together? That way I won't go full monster again. 1, stretch your body, right paw up and left paw up. Big stretch. Paw on your heart and paw on your belly. Settle down. 2, take 2 deep breaths. Breathe in and count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Breathe out and count 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Breathe in 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. Breathe out 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. 3. Now cross your arms and give yourself a hug. Pat each shoulder. Watch your claws. That's a little better, but I'm still worried. Aren't you worried? What if I don't like what they have for lunch? What if we have to be quiet and I giggle too loud? What if no one wants to sit with me on the bus? Let's try the next mindful monster move. 4, use your eyes. Name 4 things you can see. Now, use your ears. Name 3 things you can hear. Next, name 2 things you can touch. Last, name 1 thing you can smell. Look how soothed I am. Like I might be able to relax right here. I don't need to worry about the field trip. The field trip. Oh no. What if I get all monstered up again? I think I have a worry wave coming. 5, looks like we need more monster moves. Here we go. 5. Do you have a big worry? Mine is, what if they leave me there and I'm all alone? Wow. These are big worry feelings. Breathe in And breathe out. Hold on. We can ride this wave. It's time to talk to our brains. Say it with me. Do not add worries. Breathe and ride the waves. Look at that. This worry wave is getting smaller. Keep breathing. Are you feeling better? 6. Music. Music soothes monsters, even worry monsters. That's the next move. Let's sing together. Worry monster, you're okay. You're gonna get braver every day. Rock your body and sing this song, calming worries all day long. That wasn't bad. That was spectacular. We make a great team. 7. Now let's relax with the last mindful monster move. Gratitude. Gratitude is saying what makes me happy or what I love. Teacher says gratitude is great for relaxing. I am grateful for dragonflies, a little cave to curl up in, and a good friend like you. What are you grateful for? One last thing. Next time our worries start to spiral, we know just what to do. We have 7 mindful monster moves to help us. As for this field trip tomorrow, I know I'm going to have big feelings. So I will focus on the things that will help, like practicing my breathing, packing pickled squid to share, and picking out my favorite stuffy for my backpack. What will you do the next time you're worried? I think this field trip is going to be okay. Maybe even fun. Here are the 7 mindful monster moves for you to try. 1, stretch your body. 2, calming breaths. 3, monster hug. 4, focus on your senses. 5, ride the worry wave. 6, sing. And 7, gratitude. And that's the worry monster. Isn't this cute? Oh my gosh. I love this book. Look at our own creations through a paper towel core. We judge what we see before seeing the entire picture. Yes, that's very true, Fatima. We do. We get really that tunnel vision. It's why one of the things I've been doing is, I had a couple photographs I could have shown you too, but I mean, I'm going to this show this coming weekend, and I was worried about which pictures I was going to take, and I printed some out and this and that, and I realized I had some already there, and but it took walking away from the whole situation and coming back and looking at what I had and going, oh, okay. There was a reason I printed these and framed these. They're okay. They can go to this show. They can go to this studio tour, and I'll be fine with that. I don't have to come up with something brand new, and I can play around with my creativity in other ways, you know. So, yeah. We rescued a frilled neck dragon when I was little. It became the best friend. It was so loving, and the little dragon. My the 3 Bryn's kids, the 3 McLean, Rook, and Rory have a frilled dragon, a frilled lizard they have in their house, and they just got a new puppy, a new dog. Not a puppy. They rescued a Chihuahua, I think. What is Num Num is what I think Rory named it Num Num. Anyway, So that's it for tonight, Bucket Fillers. I hope that you enjoyed that. I will be back on Thursday. Yes, I will, because I leave Friday. And so I'll be here Thursday. I may not be here next Sunday because I'll be at the studio tour. That's right, I will be at the studio tour. So if you do send your stuff in for show and tell, and we don't have that on Sunday, because I'll be still, the studio tour will still be open. I think it doesn't close till 6 on, oh no, it's on Sunday. Oh, it closes at 5, but I'll be packing up, and I have to help Suzanne clean up her house and everything. So that, and, but but I'll be here for sure on Thursday with more stories. And I hope you guys enjoyed these. They are ones that spoke to my heart, and my heart and brain oftentimes have battles, and it's and then the worry monster comes in and tries to decide who's right and who's wrong, and it's not right, wrong, good or bad. It just is. It just is, and it's not going to hurt if I try it. And like I said, always said, if it hadn't been for you guys, I wouldn't have picked up a sketchbook. I wouldn't have picked up a paintbrush. I wouldn't have put it on a piece of paper. I would have continued, I'm 4 years down this road into this art journey. And if it hadn't been for you guys, I wouldn't have my sketchbooks. I wouldn't have my studio. It was there. I didn't think I could do any of this. And I just did it because it came a lot from watching a lot of fluid artists just going and having some fun, and then all kinds of stuff that went beyond that. So it is great fun. I enjoyed tonight. Sometimes I must give my brain a shake or two. Yeah. I think sometimes the brain needs to be just wrapped up in our heart sometimes, and just kind of get it heart infused. and it means so, when it does, it's like, okay, I can do that. Thank you. Thank you, Linda. Yeah. She says, we've been blessed beyond measure by me. And I tell you, that feeling is tenfold back at all of you. So you guys, thank you so much for being here. Thank you so much for joining me on this journey, and for being part of the Bucket Filling Brigade, and for hearing these stories, and for sharing your talents and your hearts with all of us all the time. So until next time, everybody, keep looking for the beauty that's hidden in plain sight. It's all around you. But the first place you'll find it is when you go look in your own mirror. And I'll see you next time.
In the heat of the night, we could get lost in all the lights and sounds. Feeling alright, we won't go home, we will just stay here downtown. There's not just stars on the boulevard, they're in the light in your eyes. Oh, we don't need no black cars.
So true, the brain is not.
I just need you by my side. We could be shameless, famous, running cool, with a love that leaves us weightless. Ooh, drop dead gorgeous, wow. Ooh, you got me feeling starstruck too. We could be famous. We could be famous. You blow my mind, looking like a model,
autocorrect. Hi, Chana and Linda. Thank you guys and Lupe. Thank you all for being here. Yay! And for anybody joining afterwards, thanks for lurkers, and I hope you enjoyed this on the replay. If you enjoyed it, give it a like, thumbs up, subscribe if you're not a subscriber, and share it with somebody who might want to hear the story.